Hello parents, I am going to video an explanation of our place value chart that I have been using in class so that you know what we've talked about and ways that your child is able to know the place value chart without just specifically memorizing. There is a pattern to it, and we really talked a lot about how numbers are organized and why there's a comma every three numbers. And so I want to explain that to you so that you can help your child succeed in place value knowledge, which is going to be used all through our fourth grade year and even in grades after that. So we talked about how these words up here on the top are periods, and they're grouped into three numbers, okay? So if I only had a number that was like 463, then of course that would only be in one period, the ones period. So how we learn to fill this one out is we talked about how the ones place is the very starting point. So if I have the number 4 and that's the only number I have, it's going to go right there in the ones. This period is called the ones place. And if you notice on all of these headings, which are the periods that are labeled, you have the ones period, which is also written in that far right side of the category, thousands, which is also on the far right side of that specific period, and then your millions, same word here, and billions is the same word here. So they already can know that what goes here, what goes here also goes there, and so forth. Then they should see a pattern. So if I have 5 and a 4, I have 54. I have 5 tens and 4 ones. And so if they see a number like this, most everybody has been able to tell me that this is in the tens place. So they're simply going to write here after the ones, we get to the tens place. If I had another number that was in there, I would be saying 254, and that would be my hundreds place. So they need to fill out ones, tens, hundreds. Then you have commas, and the reason we have commas in numbers are because they are divided by their periods. So everything within these two commas is going to be in the thousands period. And they all three have just a different name, but all have thousands in there. But if you notice, if we look at our words here, we've got ones, tens, hundreds, and that one's matched. Now we have thousands, which matches this, and then the only thing they really need to remember is that we follow a pattern. 10,000s, 100,000s. Now, when we're reading a number, say we have 475,254. I've taught them to read the number by taking the period alone, like what's in the thousands period, and reading it as its own number. So 475. They would say 475, and the comma tells us to list the name or to say the name of the period it's in. So 475,254. And we don't ever say ones. That's not what we do when we are saying the words that we see. That goes on to the same thing here. We now get to our millions category, and then we see 10 and then 100 like we see down here, but it's attached to the category, that period name. So 10 millions, 100 millions. And again, say if I only had 10 millions and millions accounted for, I would read the number in between in this millions period as 36. The comma says I'm going to name the period. 475,000, we've named the period. 254. So as they go, that is the way numbers are organized up to crazy high numbers. We're only going to mark up to billions though. So this one is going to be the thousands period, this one's going to be the millions period, and then we've got billions. But you will notice that what I put here is what I put here. Millions, millions, on to 10 millions, on to 100 millions. Billions is billions here, on to 10 billions, 100 billions. If they can understand that there is a pattern in how we are naming each one of these units, they won't have to memorize each individual one. The pattern is what we're wanting them to see in numbers. We did talk about the only way that you put and in a number is if it involves a decimal or a fraction. So we don't say 254. We don't say 475,000. We don't say that. We say 254. We say 475. The and is that decimal point. And then if you notice, ones is only written one time in our chart, and as we move forward to higher digits, we get tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Well, over here, we're writing the same word 10, but we're adding THS. Then we're writing the same number 100, but we're adding THS. And it keeps going the same exact way that these are listed, is the same way that it progresses to the right, which obviously the numbers are still going to be less the further you go to the right. But you're going to have tenths, hundredths. Those are the only two they need to know. But I did show them then that they have thousandths, they have 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and it keeps going the same way. So that ones is that central digit that we're looking at, and then everything will build off of those to the left or to the right. So hopefully this helps you know kind of how I explained it to the kids, and maybe you can help explain it and do more one-on-one. I am pulling more one-on-one groups as we go through these units. Obviously, time can be an issue with that. So if you can help them with this, we will retake the test on Friday, and I will take that score as they receive it. And hopefully it's going to be out of 16 points. These are going to be bonus points. So if you can help get your child prepared for that, that would be great. It will help them as we progress through all of our units, as well as the unit test that we have moved from Friday to Tuesday. So I will have more information about that. I hope this helps. If you have any questions whatsoever, please contact me. I'll be happy to help.